everyone, it's Adele and April from Just Say Scrap with Close to My Heart, and it is snowing! It is also Technique Tuesday number 62. So look at her. We've been standing out here for like a few seconds, and it's already like we're excited. I don't know about you guys, but we are totally excited. We love the snow. So.
Oh my goodness. And we're really excited about today's Technique Tuesday because we're going to dive into a little bit more about texture paste and
yes. So what you saw last week, we are going to do a little bit more on the coloring and all that jazz, and the 3 different textures. All right, here we go. All right, everyone. So we are back. Like we said, today we are going to be playing a little bit more with our texture pastes. So we have our opaque matte, which we have been doing a lot with and shown you a lot about. We have it, remember, it comes in the itty bitty one or the big one. So this is the one that's most common. But we wanted to show you today a little bit more of the transparent matte and the transparent gloss, which are these 2. So this is the opaque matte.
Today we're going to be experimenting with our re-inkers and our texture pastes to see the differences that each one will come out with. We used the same color re-inker on these 3. We used our Lagoon Re-Inker.
But we are not using that one today.
No, we are not.
We did take a Cricut cut off of Artbooking, I believe, right? Artbooking. And we're still using the exact same sheet that we actually had used. We've been using. So remember, don't throw these out. Every little bit can help you. So that's that. And then look, we got these cute little snowflakes out of it. So we're gonna be experimenting. I'm not sure if we're gonna use those exactly, but we definitely are gonna use this. And we are also going to be preparing for our Throw It Together Thursday a little bit as well. So we do have our all-purpose mat. Remember, it's a non-slip mat. And we have our Versamat underneath it. So to start us off, I'm going to, most of our cards, or our White Daisy cards, are 5.5 by 4, correct? Excuse me, they're 5.5 by 4 1/4. I messed up a little bit, but that's fine. So what I'm going to be doing is this is 3 by 6. So I'm going to cut a piece that's 3. Nope. I want to do it this way first. I'm going to cut it by 5. So 5.5. 5.5. Okay. Now we're correct. So I'm going to cut a piece that's 5.5, and then I'm going to cut it by 3. So this way, even though it's not 4.5, you'll see what we do on Thursday with the rest of the card. But this is going to be one of my little overlays on top of the card, and I could always decide to cut it down after I do this as well. Excuse me, my voice is dying a little bit. But it's going to go lay over the sides a little bit. And what's fun with this is I can do this, and then you can also move it and do some more snowflakes or different colors on top. So just to keep things neater and so you're not constantly having to clean things, always start with your lighter color, correct, Mother?
Yes.
Okay. Which one do you want to use first? We're going to play with mixing a little bit. So you can never go wrong with experimenting because that's how you find new things, right? So we are going to start with our matte, transparent. And remember, always just we just keep this on to keep it not drying. Not from drying.
Keep it moist?
Yeah. But nobody likes that word. This also smells pepperminty, just letting you know.
Yes.
It has a peppermint smell.
And it's looser than the opaque texture paste.
So I'm putting that aside just because I know I'm going to want to keep scooping with that one, and I don't want to contaminate my colors. Also, if you want to keep this down, washi tape is always a great thing. But I'm going to be moving it around, so I'm not going to washi tape it down. But like I said, we're going to experiment a little bit. Which 2 colors should we mix? I'm going to start with Carolina and then maybe pull in some mint, because those are my 2 lightest. So I'm going to just put 2 dots in there. With this, the re-inkers go a long way. Look at that. Carolina is one of our new colors.
And it's beautiful.
Look at that blue. Totally snowflake.
With the transparent paste, the Re-Inkers go
It goes,
far.
yes.
With the opaque paste, you may have to add a little bit more.
You mean with the opaque matte?
With the opaque matte. I'm sorry, yes. That's what I meant.
Ooh. It's catching under this a little bit. I'm probably not using the perfect tool for this one. I'm gonna move. See, sometimes you learn. But honestly, if you get caught underneath your cuts a little bit, that's okay. Remember, there's no mistakes in scrapbooking, only extra embellishing. And it's also gonna give it a little bit of a texture. So you can see, I'm not filling in my gaps completely. This little snowflake got filled in. But I wanna experiment here. And if you don't like it, remember you can always just get another piece of paper and try again. There's no mistakes. But see how I've put a little bit of this over? Do you think I should add mint or do you think I should try to add bluebird?
Oh, I think the bluebird. I
Okay.
want to see the light and the dark.
Okay, so our glacier and our mint are a little bit more of a greenish tint. But our Carolina, our bluebird, which is also brand new, and our sapphire are more of a true deep blue color.
Sapphire being the deepest.
Yes.
Although the bluebird looks pretty deep.
Well, we also just mixed it a little bit.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna throw this in there a little bit. I don't want to completely cover up what I just did. So I'm gonna go on the edges a little. Plus you have a lot more of your paste actually on the paper here. So even though it mixed a lot here, it's grabbing some of the lighter color when I'm putting it on here and mixing even more.
And our all-purpose mat is amazing because what you will do afterwards is just let the texture paste dry on the mat.
If you don't use it all.
Even if you use it all, there's still going to be some residue on the mat, and you just let it dry and it wipes right off. Believe it or not, I did a bunch of papers with the texture paste, including the 3 that we showed.
You can show them while I'm doing this.
Oh, sure.
She experimented a lot.
I experimented a lot. So here I have, where have I go? Okay, here I have the gloss with just plain gloss. I just took a glob and put it on the paper. Here I put the gloss through a stencil. Here I put the gloss through a stencil and used our
shimmer brushes. That's
shimmer brushes. And I have a whole bunch of others, but April seems to be finished, so we'll show you later.
That is so pretty. Got a little stuck here, but that's because I got it underneath. But look how pretty that is. That's so cool. I love that. Okay, I'm going to leave that to dry because I might want to go over that again a little bit. But this is where I am going to cut a few more pieces. Okay. So you can use this when it's still, you know, like this, or you can go clean it. Want to go clean it quickly?
Of course.
So you can also do negatives of our snowflakes if you have this. So you have to be more gentle with this because you're doing the negative and you really don't want the snowflake underneath to move. But like we've said in the past, you know, the opaque paste is a little bit sticky. So once you are gentle and you get it down a little bit, it will kind of hold itself in place. You're seeing that. And you have a clean thing for us now, don't you?
I do. And maybe even with something, a stencil like that, although it's small, if you have some repositionable tape that won't overlap the stencil, you can use it.
But this one I have to be a little bit more diligent because I want to get all those little areas around the stencil. So with that one, with our other stencils, you know, if you sometimes like miss a little spot on the stencil because it's a background, you're not going to be able to tell as much. But since I'm actually going around something on this, I want to make sure I fill in as many of those gaps as possible. And once again, this is an experiment and you're going to get messy.
And April does not like to get messy.
That's why I walk around with inks on my hand.
Yep.
Like this color is just so cool, the way that it's mixing.
April loves being messy.
I do.
And if you have Oh, pretty.
That's so cool. And you can even let this dry, honestly, and use that as an embellishment.
Yes, you could.
Because that itself would be really cool. And look, came clean. Isn't that interesting?
And I just ran that underwater, so.
I think this one we
Nothing
should kind of
special.
just... Are you trying to destroy my snowflake?
No, I was trying to wipe off your fingers.
Oh, I don't want it. I don't want that.
Okay.
So like we said, you know, just experiment with these kind of things.
Yes, and I like the way you went over the edges, like overlap them a little bit so that you could actually see the image better.
Huh?
With the snowflake, the first snowflake you did, you have like a circle around the snowflake. So you see the white, but you see every...
Oh, yes. That's what I was
aspect of the
talking about before.
snowflake.
That's why you got to really cover it up. It's so cool. I'm having too much fun with this. Do you want to throw another color on here? Why don't we put some sapphire in here?
Sapphire, okay.
So we can dish out some more paste. And see how I have a lot of this like around? You can always to fill in that extra space.
Right, and this is the matte transparent, so it's going to dry
A little more. Not going to be as not going to be as glossy.
right. The glossy is very shiny.
It's cool. Can you throw a little bit more Carolina in there?
Sure.
Let me see if I can lighten it up a little bit more. But see, you don't even need to like have anything. You can honestly just do like a sweep. And look at that. That actually lightened it up quite a bit. Maybe not on that one. I had
think
too
you
much.
have to add a little bit of paste
Yeah. I
to
had a
lighten
little
it
bit.
up.
No, it still did. Slightly. But like you don't even have to have the snowflakes, you know? If you wanted to just take the paste and do what I'm doing, like look at the cool texture that it gives. I'm gonna experiment. I might kill the snowflake a little bit, but I wanna see if I went over a little bit of this, if it would pick up. No, okay, never mind. It doesn't pick up the snowflake design. I was trying to see if it dried, it would.
Yeah, that might.
Oh, you can still see it. Look at that.
Oh, you can.
It's very faint.
Very
but that's
faint.
really cool. And if I let that dry even more, that would be really cool looking. You see it?
Yes. You know what would be cool if you did the glossy underneath and then the matte on top. That might.
We
be
have a lot of
really good.
experiments coming your way, clearly.
Now I wanted to show you what April is doing. I kind of did with the opaque mat and with a stencil, and I built it up. So when I built it up, you see the opaque obviously is thicker to begin with, but I just took one of the texture tools and I kind of like made little mounds, and if you could see, it's thicker. So depending on what you want.
And if you don't like what you did, just do what I did. Just go over.
She got carried away.
I did. I'm sorry. It looked cool. But I can still see the snowflakes.
Yes.
So isn't that cool? And that's not a nice, even just a nice texture piece on a page.
Oh yeah.
So we just wanted to show you that you can clean your mat. You can either use it when it completely dries. When it completely dries, you can actually just use a dry paper towel, but I'm just putting a wet one down just to pull it up a little bit. And you know, just use a little bit of elbow grease. I'm not using that much. But, I mean, I'm about to make this messy again. So, just clearing it off a little bit so I have a cleaner surface. And look, it didn't even move. And look, my handprint. Isn't that a pretty color? Just like looks so cool. Reminds me of Sully from Monsters, Inc. Okay, so we're going to be taking the gloss paste now. I'm gonna open this up. Whoops! I dropped one. And that's the one I need. I'm gonna take out some of this paste. And we're actually going to be going over the matte from the first one, but I'm gonna be doing it with Glacier and Mint. So Mint is our lighter color of the two, also a brand new color. See, it looks a little bit more greeny because it's mint. But I think green can be in a snowflake, don't you?
Sure.
No? Okay, fine.
No, it's fine. Snowflakes could be whatever color you want.
You know what? Why don't we experiment a little? I'm gonna try to put a little bit of Carolina in here. Okay. A drop. It's hard to get just one drop of this stuff sometimes. I don't want it to be too similar. Ah, that's pretty.
Yes.
Make it blue enough for you. Okay. And now, as you can see, I've laid my transparent over here. And we're gonna literally just go right on top of what we just did. Remember, be a little bit careful because you are going over and you have these little itty bitty sections, but you don't have to be as precise as when I was using it on the other sheet, because this is not the outline. This is just our background. This is gonna look cool. Whenever I'm doing things like this, I always want to pull them off before I'm done, just to see what it looks like.
She's impatient.
I am. I'm very impatient. But patience is a virtue. Sometimes. Do you want to throw some Glacier in here?
Sure.
One drop. Let's go. Okay.
I was trying not to.
Did I say I'm impatient? Did we say that already?
A little bit.
The Glacier just added a little bit of a deeper green to it. Because it has a little bit more of a green texture, but you ready?
I am.
That looks cool. I think it looks cool.
It does look cool.
And some of them are mashed together, but you know, that's kind of what we wanted.
And what you can do if you wanted to like layer these, maybe do the first colors, the lighter colors, and then work up to your darker colors.
You can also, if you want, you can do a first layer, and then you can also use vellum on top.
So this, you know, I just rinse this off with water, and what I do is I just place it between 2 paper towels and dry it off. And then it's ready to be used again. It's still a little wet. It's still a little wet, but I do that next.
So make sure it is dry before you put it on your paper, because it is paper. But I'm gonna have a little bit more fun here. I'm gonna create, instead of it having it a diagonal, I'm going to make an ombre kind of styled paper. So we do have a new book. It's called Love of Color. And what Love of Color is, it is one of our idea books. Love of Color basically will give you all of our different color palettes, or every single color in our color line. And what it will do is it'll give you complementary colors to it, but it will also give you contrasting colors. So if you are doing something like this, let's say you had like sapphire, it'll tell you you can do this, this, and this, but also throw raspberry in there as a contrast. So we lined our colors up actually before in the rainbow that Close to My Heart has now created. So it goes Carolina, Bluebird, Sapphire, Glacier, and then Mint. I don't want to put it into the paste. But if you wanted to do something like that, you could totally do this across. So since I had mostly Glacier in this one, I'm gonna grab a little bit more. I'm gonna put Another drop of mint. I know it's green. Sorry, Mom.
That's fine. It's a pretty green.
It is. And this is what's also good about the mat, because you can just go to different spots on your mat. So we're gonna make it green. And for this, because I'm just constantly going, I'm not actually gonna make her wash this every time. But do you see the ombre is starting? And then I'm gonna move over. And you should honestly let them dry before you do this, but I wanted to show you guys. So it might not be perfect, but that's okay, right?
Yep. Because when you're
Is scrapbooking ever perfect?
No.
I was gonna say.
And when you're experimenting at home or actually doing a project at home, you can plan it out and make sure that
You know what you're doing for the next time.
not that we don't know what we're doing.
Oh no,
We're
I didn't
just
say that.
playing.
Did I ever say we don't know what we're doing? And because I didn't clean this either, it is still getting some of the paste from the other one, which I think is cool as well. But now I'm not gonna move it. And don't be afraid to take paste and, you know, use it and experiment it. You can always get more, and there's a lot more in these things than you think.
Yes.
There really is. And if you wanna just clean it off a little bit, just wipe it down. This bluebird's so pretty.
It is.
It was a good color they came out with this in Carolina. And then the candy apple red is such a pretty Christmas red.
But snowflakes definitely aren't red.
I know. And who had to tell you that this morning?
Wow.
Wanna know what color she pulled out? Candy apple.
Because it's Christmas.
I was like, Mom, if you're making snowflakes, you can't make them red. That's when Elsa's afraid. That exactly what I said?
Yes, it is.
And then we have one more color. We have our Carolina. And remember, we are using the glossy, so this is gonna dry like a gloss.
Right, and it will take a couple of more minutes to dry than the matte. Oops.
Whoops, I keep moving it. Well, that snowflake got a little mushy.
Sometimes snowflakes get mushed.
That's okay. Like we said, there's no mistakes in scrapbooking, only extra embellishing. And see, I used all of that paste, but before, instead of taking more, I'm just gonna use some of the old stuff I had and mix it in. It still gets that ombre effect. Or if I had a mushy snowflake, I could actually just take this whole thing and then it's just gonna, the lighter color is gonna be surrounding the new snowflake. See? Isn't that cool? Besides my mush.
It does look cool. I like the...
I'm gonna also experiment
shades.
something else here. Don't be afraid to do this. Or get messy. Didn't work out as much as I wanted to. Hold on. That's what's nice about these two, is you can see them right through. I need to get a little bit more around the snowflakes. That worked so much better.
Yes.
So as you can see, we had fun with experimenting. I still like this. Look, and like now that this is dried more, look how cool that gloss over the other snowflakes looks. But just showing you a little bit that you can play, have fun with it. This is more abstract than anything. I think the ombre is cool, but I really like the overlay as well. So just be prepared for Throw It Together Thursday. We are going to have a lot more fun with all of this. And we will be making a holiday card. Okay, so we are going to bring you some added bonus material here. I know this dyed a little bit, but that's totally okay. It's just because we were using the sapphire. The sapphire tends to dye things like this a little bit more. But what I'm gonna do here is this is dry and this is the matte. See how it's very matty? Matty. Huh. I'm making up words while I go.
It's flat.
Fine. Flat.
Well, it's not shiny.
This is the opaque matte. If you can't tell.
Yes, this is the thicker paste.
Yes, this is very thick. And this is what we did our last video on. But I just want to show you the contrast between the two and how awesome they look together. So I can lay this flat like I am right now, or as my mom was showing before, you know how she did this technique where it like stuck. But you can also, what's fun with this is if I let this dry slightly and I keep going over it, it's going to be thicker and thicker every time. This one dries a lot faster. So I can kind of give it that 3D dimension. Or if you even wanted to, you see how I left some of those spots very, very blotchy or very, very thick? I can actually give it some texture and some life. Ready?
That looks awesome.
Doesn't that look awesome?
Yes,
And if you wanted to make sure that if you wanted to fill in like some of these spaces, just lay it over this side. Oops. This is also a lot easier to find where you were because it's white. Once again, why this is really good, the matte. And that's Technique Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed. If you do have any more questions about the opaque texture paste or the opaque matte, please let us know and we will answer them ASAP.
And we are thankful for you. Thank you for watching us and joining us every week on our adventure. And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. And we have some very, very fun, maybe an early Christmas present coming at you, which we are super excited about. We will talk more about it next time.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye. It snowed, it snowed, it snowed today a little bit.
Doesn't work. It's snowing. Okay, now we have to go inside and do some scrapbooking, but it's snowing. I'm too excited about the snow right now. This is not like...
We're going to be snowmen soon.
Never go wrong.
And here we go.
You a pain in my
Which would you?
gluteus maximus.
What?
Got it. How long is this siren?
Let's say about that long.
I'm waiting for you to tumble over.
I probably will.
Oh, no.